Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. What's up? And welcome to Car Wax. I'm Michael, your Bougie Black Brother, and we're here with our music segment of Car Wax with my partner in crime, Sean.
Woody, son.
What's the deal today? We're looking at one of the classical groups of hip-hop that came out with a new release. Sean threw that at me and I've missed it for the last couple of weeks. I really didn't know it was coming, but he hit me up with this one, and it's the Wu-Tang-Clan. So, big fan of Wu-Tang. Always been a good fan. That was just my shit. But I heard it. So I'm gonna throw it to Sean because I'm a little biased, because just like I said, I'm a Wu-Tang fan forever. It doesn't really matter. I'm a Wu-Tang fan. But I know you checked it out, Sean. Mm-hmm. So I really would love to hear your thoughts.
All right. So I kind of course, I grew up listening to Wu. 36 Chambers was actually one of the best albums ever made by a rap group ever.
Classic.
The first Ballad Hall of Fame, if you're going to put Outkast in the Hall of Fame and you don't understand that the first real rap group that make things happen was Wu-Tang, then you got to do some more history. So, from my background of knowing Wu, the last one I heard was like the Iron Flag or something.
Yeah, it flew in and flew out.
Right.
That was the bad thing about it, because I kind of listened to it because I was like, oh, Wu's coming out with, and it was kind of like, so.
Right. Well, at that time, this what happened. This is what happened. When they was dropping those albums in between, we were in transition of understanding that these rappers are getting older. So like now, so I can guarantee within the past 5 years, anything that Wu-Tang has made is not appreciated.
True.
So, but as time goes 16 and 17, I would say if they would have dropped something late 16, people would have probably appreciated it just as much as if it would have came out now.
Right.
So, with that being said, the last album they actually had was the one that they auctioned off for like a few $1 million.
Really?
Yeah. So they had an album prior to this one that didn't get sold in stores, but it was sold at an auction for like a few million. And then like a few days after, the person who bought it, I can't even remember his name. It's a nice little story behind it. But so this album, The Saga Continues, drops, and it sounds, I would say it sounds like Wu. So it sounds timeless. Wu has their own sound. Wu-Tang has always had their own sound. So for me, when I first put it on and to still hear that same unique sound, it was like, it was refreshing. It didn't sound old. It didn't sound old because, again, Wu has their own sound. So me listening to it was just like, okay, it sounds like Wu-Tang. Mm-hmm. Okay, it doesn't sound like old recycled Wu-Tang beats.
Right.
That was the thing I really appreciated about it. And then it was like, okay, damn, they're still giving me that Wu-Tang flow too.
Right.
So with that being said, I appreciated it because it was like listening to, honestly, no disrespect, it was kind of like listening to quality rap growing up. You know what I'm saying?
So did you think it was a transitional, or it was, this is who we are, but I'm just throwing it back out again? Or what?
It definitely wasn't transitional.
Okay.
I don't think. Again, I think RZA is ahead of his time, man. When he promoted and pushed these beats out, man, it was unique.
Yep.
So when you hear it, it's always like, oh yeah,
That's a Wu beat.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah.
Wu
So
beat. That's a
he didn't
RZA.
touch none of the beats. Mathematic did all the beats.
Really?
Yeah, Mathematic did all of them. They was on Breakfast Club talking about that. But so for me, it was just like it was refreshing. It was good to hear these rappers still with some legit flow.
Yep.
You know, they got some really legit flow. But
Right.
I still felt like they could have evolved the music a little bit. You know.
So did you want them to, or you just, because you said two things. You said it was refreshing and you loved it.
Right.
But you wanted them to evolve.
So I listened to it 2 times straight. And I was just like, man, I'm loving it. It's giving me back this Wu-Tang feel. You know, these lyrics is hard. Meth is on all these tracks going hard. They even put Red on this bad boy. Wow. First 2 times, right? Then the next time I came in, I was just like, so this doesn't sound like anything in the new generation.
Nope.
At all.
Nope.
You know, and they're really going to miss a group of people that should appreciate this.
Right.
Because they didn't want to be trendy. They didn't want to fit in with what's going on right now.
Right.
You know,
right.
they wanted to make Wu-Tang music, you know, and I think that's exactly what they did. And if you don't know Wu, if you're 22 and down, if you're damn near 25 and down, you're really not going to appreciate this.
Yep.
You know, so, and that's why I said, you know, after I heard it the third time, I was just like, man, the CD is good, but it's not going to get the love it's supposed to get.
Right.
You know, so.
Yep. So
that's kind of why I said, you know, I liked it, but then when I listened to it again, as far as critiquing and, you know, listening to and preparing to judge it, it was just like, damn, man, I like it, but damn, man. But it goes back to the rock and roll and the old school and the old rock and roll people that's coming out. They're not making new sound.
Nope.
You know, they're just making fresh music.
Yeah.
You know, fresh music with their sound.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's exactly what Wu-Tang did. So again, that's why I appreciated it, because it was like, wow, okay, they're gonna have 30, 40-year-olds going to their concerts.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Period.
Yep.
You know, and
that's who loved them.
And it's still gonna get sold out.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, knowing the generation and me being in that hip hop era when it was there, I really appreciated the album.
Gotcha.
You know, but as far as a person critiquing music in the now, they could have spiced it up a little bit.
With something
Recent, with something current.
Gotcha. I got you. So, again, Wu-Tang, I love them. I'm going to tell you what stood out for me. No, let me back up. Again, I love Wu-Tang. So when I heard the beats, I knew it was Wu-Tang. I was like, yeah. Then I heard the RZA, you know, he comes up, you know, he says his little, you know, kind of like commentary verse slash rapping, and he did his thing. And Capadonna, because you don't really hear him on a lot of he just shows up every now and then. But, you know, it was funny because I'm not a big Meth fan. I'm not a big Method Man fan.
Right. I wasn't
a big Method Man.
He
but
was
he
never
was all
my
over
primary.
This
Yeah, he was never my primary favorite in Wu-Tang.
Ghostface and what you call Raekwon was they was the shit. You know, that was who you wanted to hear because they led so much. And Old Dirty Bastard, but he's dead. Right. So you can't fucking Inspector Deck. He showed up. But you don't know when you hear Inspector Deck because there's so many of them on there.
Right, yeah.
If you say Inspector Deck, then you know, oh, that's him. They don't stand out. But the Raekwon and you know Ghostface, always, you're gonna always know who they are. They got a unique sound. They showed up exactly the way they showed up.
Yeah.
So when you heard them, you'd be like, yep, that's Wu-Tang.
Yep, exactly.
Yup, they bringing that shit. Yep. Heard Meth, you'd be like, come on, man, who else is on this bitch? And then Meth had his own singles a couple of times on there. But leading to that, and this is where I was going to get at, I loved Redman on there.
Yeah, it complimented the album.
I think when you said spice it up, I think he was the
Was the
one who
spice.
spiced it up.
Okay.
Because I think the album would have been, yep, it's the Wu-Tang.
That's Wu-Tang, right?
Yep, okay,
right.
I got you.
Right.
But when Red was on there, you was kind of like, whoa, Red is up with them. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it made it kind of like, okay, they did a little something on that. So I love that little mix in there. They got this one on there. I'm kind of trying to remember which one, but it was a one extra guy on there, and he was a young cat. He was brand new, and he showed up on there, and really good lyrics on that motherfucker. He had a good flow, good lyrics, but never heard him before.
Okay.
But he showed up. I'm trying to figure out which one it was. But he came on and he fucking ripped it, and I was like, wow, okay, I got you. But that was refreshing. But I'm gonna have to agree with you. Even though I liked it, I know what I'm listening to right now.
Right now. Mm-hmm.
So it kind of slowed me down. You know what I mean? Because it went backwards.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, yo, I'm listening to this, I'm listening to that. Oh, this is so hot. And then it's kind of like,
Yeah.
doom,
Right.
Wu-Tang.
Let me let you reminisce about
Yeah.
some quality old school shit.
But it was quality old school shit.
Mm-hmm.
Will it last? No. It's kind of like, here you go, fellas.
Yeah.
I
All
think
my fans.
I would love to have seen a different producer with a different sound and see how they flowed on that.
Do you think they're a little too old for that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think their flow and the way they jump in and out, I think it's still be fine. I just think that a producer could have gave them a different sound to say, you're going to flow because all your niggas rock.
So you feel like they could have found a more evolved Wu-Tang sound.
Just a Wu-Tang sound, a
Right.
new sound to the rappers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's just take away Wu-Tang sound, because if you want a Wu-Tang sound, that's what you got.
Okay.
What about the Wu-Tang on a different, level, and say this is what we sound like outside of our Wu-Tang sound?
Right.
I think they were just saying this
This
is
is
who we are.
Wu-Tang.
This is
Yeah.
Wu-Tang. We're gonna bring you the Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
I get it.
And see that comes based off of RZA. I think RZA is like RZA. Well, that's what they said. Basically, everyone was all revolved around RZA.
Yeah.
He's
the producer.
right. So,
Even though he don't even have to do the beats, but he's the one they come to and say, "Let me organize
right,
this shit."
exactly. Like when things go down, he's the one that's calling everybody,
Yep.
or he's the first one that everybody's going to. So, knowing RZA, I don't think he's ever gonna leave that theme.
Because that's who he is.
Exactly. So if RZA has anything to do with a Wu-Tang album, that's exactly how it's gonna sound.
So I'll give you a great example. When you said that, you popped it in my mind. Afro Samurai.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was fucking RZA
RZA at his
Wu-Tang
finest.
beats.
At his finest.
It wasn't anything outside of that.
Nope.
He was like, if I'm going to produce this shit, that's what you're going to get.
Yep.
It went well. I'm not saying it didn't go well. It just went well.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in a different era right now. We're in a total different era. If you used to eating fish,
Right.
and somebody keeps saying, "Hey, look, I want to take you out. This is an all meat restaurant," and you kind of like, all right, I'll eat it, but
You
I'm
are
not used to eating fucking meat.
Right.
So I'm gonna go back to eating fish as soon as I'm done with eating this meat.
Okay.
That's what Wu-Tang did to me. Yeah, they gave you the meat, and you was like, "Yeah, I enjoyed myself, thank you." But you're not going back because you're used to what you're hearing right now, or the analogy is eating fish. But you're used to that. Doesn't make it a bad album. It just makes it not viable to the time right now. I like it. I put it aside. I think what makes it different for me is when I hear the Redman. I think I'll probably go toward those more so than the whole thing. Because it makes it different.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the beats was the same, everybody kind of rapped the same way, Redman gave it a different beat. I mean, atmosphere. Redman, that ain't his beats that he rapped
Not
off,
at all.
but he did.
Yeah.
So that tells me it would have been easier to say, let's kind of twist it, give you some West Coast or even some Southern type beat. Let me see what you can do with that.
And they would have sounded really good on different beats.
I think they would have.
They would have really sounded good on different beats, but that's that New York mentality, man.
I know, man. I know.
You already know
it's
about
locked
that.
In. They locked in.
Yeah. It's
they
like,
fucking locked in.
We finna rep this New York until we die. Period.
If you don't like it, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know.
It's the younger artists. It's the younger generation that's kind of like, we can still have the New York sound, but we still need to have Atlanta sound. We still need to have a Midwest sound. So give me the beats that you got and let me see how I like them. Instead of being like, nah, man, you know, I ain't trying to be Atlanta. That sounds too South, man. You know,
that ain't me.
Right.
I'm grimy, man. I'm fucking Brooklyn, kid. I'm Brooklyn, and you're like, we know you Brooklyn, but the younger ones, to your point too, is they listen to music,
right?
So they like other artists, and if they hear other artists, they got different beats.
Well, it was a moment where New York didn't have no artists coming out.
Yeah,
you know,
it was like one of the dark ages.
Man, it was real dark. You know, like. Cameron left, went to Chicago. He was messing with this dude named Vado. Diddy was doing his thing.
Quali start doing some off the wall crazy shit.
50 let go of his little group, his G Unit.
Most Def start doing fucking movies and shit like that.
It was a drought of New York music for a few years. So when the newer generation came in, I guess they didn't know where to look to. But the South, you know, oh, well, you know, Snap music is out. My white tee is out. You know, let's make something that's going to sell music.
Yep.
You know, instead of saying, you know, let's bring this New York sound back. But
people they didn't want to go back. Because again, you can hold those beats. I get you. But that's not that's not in the club.
Right. Yeah.
And then, because remember, the South brought you back into the club so you can dance a little bit.
Exactly, yeah.
New York was like, you standing around bobbing your head.
Right.
Man, everybody don't want to hear that shit no more. So they went away from some things. They kind of readjusted what they did. And you got groups like the Wu-Tang was like, yep, I agree. We're going to stay New York. Mm-hmm. Because they didn't have to come out with anything. You know, they had Ghostface came out with a couple of things. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, he did.
And you had a couple of other Meth was showing up here and there. But and as featured artists, you know, they didn't really have a major thing that they came out. But they showed up on other people. Right. So they stayed relevant. You know what I mean? He stayed relevant.
Yeah, but the sound faded.
Yep. But again, that's the New York mentality. That's why when you hear these newer people coming out of New York, it sounds different.
Right.
But you just find out.
I would say, I know you don't know this artist, but I don't know when he started. But in between that drought time, there's an artist by the name of Troy Ave. He was making a lot of pretty decent mixtapes. You know, making a lot of decent mixtapes. And then Pro Era, Joey Badass's group. Okay. They were like the underground sound in New York during that time. So, but as far as mainstream and
wasn't out there,
not even close. There was nobody coming out of New York that was like, he's from New York and they make good music. You know, it was like, oh, these young rappers. Oh, come to find out they're from New York. You know, so it was just new. I appreciate Wu-Tang for doing what they did, but. They could have. They definitely need a younger view. They need a.
So I think his you hear the sound. The sound is the same. Yeah. It's kind of like you know, it's just stomp, nod your head, and that's that Wu.
Yeah, that's that Wu-Tang flow. I mean, that's the Wu-Tang sound.
But again, I want to hear it again. I can put this in the bucket of the old stuff and just play it all the way through.
Okay.
I'll appreciate the contemporary rap, but, you know, what can you say? You know what I mean? I mean, RZA, he's the man. But I would rather hear him put some beats to somebody new
Right.
than his old group. You know what I mean?
There's a Juicy J. I like Juicy J. Juicy J was with 3-6 Mafia, 666. He was pretty much, it was him and DJ Paul. They were like the producers, right? And they had the 3-6 Mafia sound back then, right? And then he kind of died down for a second, and then Wiz Khalifa brought him back out.
Really?
Yeah, and it evolved his sound. So it's possible, but you have to be open to criticism. You have to be open to young adult opinions. You know, and I think listening to this album, there was no young adults or no youth sitting there with Mathematics or RZA saying like,
production wise,
yeah, we need to make this sound a little bit more current. You know, I believe if they had a 25-year-old that was like, I like this South stuff, but I love this Wu-Tang stuff, I think I can combine them and make this album sound way better than it is. You know, so
this the cat.
Oh yeah, I like this track. That's that G'd Up.
Yeah, G'd Up. That's that Mizzy Jones. Cause I love his flow. I'm listening to the way he lyrically plays shit. I was like, wow. Damn.
Man, this reminds me of the cannabis days.
Yeah.
You know, like back when DMX was ripping and Cannabis was out here just murdering tracks.
Anybody who came out, he was just
This
killing.
what this sound like. And again, for me, Cannabis was my favorite rapper. So when I'm listening to stuff like that, it's reminding me of what it was. But for the now, it's like, nah, man, you can't be. If you're gonna be over lyrical, you have to make sure them beats, you can keep people's attention with those beats. You know, that's why I like the Damian Lillard album. And we'll probably get into that a little bit later, but he gave you that West feel, and he gave you some new beats, and he still gave you some potent lyrics without cussing on there.
Right.
You know,
right.
so I just think they missed it as far as trying to build their fan base. They totally missed it.
So I think this was let's give our fans something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I
like
think
the
this
Tribe
was that
Called
album.
Quest.
Yeah. Let me give our fans something. Like, yeah, the Tribe Called Quest was like kind of like, really, motherfuckers?
Right.
You know,
the best y'all got?
That's
De
the
La
best you
Soul's
got?
last album.
So I still haven't heard it. So
You don't
my
wanna
man,
hear it.
No, but you know, my man at the barbershop said, listen to the one with 2 Chainz on it, because he killed their ass.
On the De La Soul.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, you know what?
He said-
I cut it off before I even got to that
Probably that's
track.
what, yeah, because
Wow.
most people said, he was like, no, go back and just listen to that one. If you don't want to listen to anything else, just listen to that one.
Right. 2 Chainz was on Lillard's album.
Oh, really?
I'm talking about. He didn't. So the whole album consists of no cussing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The only person that cussed on it that they bleeped out was Wayne.
Really?
Yeah, but Wayne was on the album
So,
too. That was a nice.
Did
track
Wayne
too.
do a little one of those, you know? Yeah.
Not really, but the song was nice.
Okay,
You know what I'm
all right,
saying?
all
The
right.
song was like, okay, you know.
I'm gonna have to listen to it. I'll
yeah.
find it. I'll find it one way or another.
So Chainz got it, man.
So
Chainz
I love that
got it,
dude,
bruh.
man. I think he's just so fucking clever, man.
Man, Chainz got it, dog. And when you hear it, I'm gonna listen to the De La Soul one, but I want you to listen to the Damian Lillard one.
Yeah, I will.
Of course, that was freestyle, but when you listen to it, it's like just man, he's so clever. Oh, that was nice.
So it
Oh,
was,
that was
funny,
nice.
man, because you know I listened to him and I was like, yeah, I like him, and I heard him way back, but I didn't listen to him closely.
Then you start listening to his old
and
music.
then when I started listening to him, I was like, this motherfucker
he's a clever
cool.
guy, yeah.
And then that's when you said, when I was talking to him about when he was on the Drake shit, he was like, nah, wait for the new album. You're gonna fucking love it. If you think this was the shit, you're gonna love this. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I was like, that's a fucking classic. That shit is the
yeah, because
shit.
he was on the Drake, and it was straight on the Drake.
But he stood out to me.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the-
most definitely.
I mean, yeah, Drake is Drake. You're gonna have that. But when you don't listen to certain people and then they give you a little something that you're not expecting, then you want to hear it again.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, whoa. And then who came after him? I think it was Meek. Was right behind him on that same shit.
Meek
Mill.
Meek Mills wasn't on no Drake CD.
So which one was, who came after?
Meek Mills will never be on the Drake CD.
Really?
Nah, man, they was beefing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man, they had beef tracks. Drake had 2 beef tracks against Meek Mill.
Really?
Yeah, man.
So I fucking missed that. But no, he came after, he came after your boy. I haven't heard
Young
it in a
Thug.
while. Young Thug, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he came through and I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. But
Yeah.
I
Okay,
need
I
to
know what
hear
you're
you.
talking
I need
about.
to hear your boy though. So it was right there. But again, when you hear people who stay contemporary,
Right.
let's think about, we did the Rick Ross. He put some new shit on there.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried to keep the way he does things.
Yeah.
And then Big Boy, he came contemporary and he tried to put some, but he still kept
He's
his
still putting
same
new stuff
shit.
on. But you know what? He got kids.
Yeah.
And he let his kids listen to his music.
Oh, so
You
he
know
was
what
a
I'm saying?
little.
Yeah. So he wanted to make sure that not only did his kids like it, he liked it. So
But it was okay though.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't a bad album.
no, not at all. Not at all.
And it reminisced back to, Outkast albums.
It does.
Without being old.
Without being old. There you go.
So
yeah,
that's why listening to the Wu now and then thinking back of the people who did releases gets me to appreciate Big Boy more. Even though I'm like, yeah, it was okay. But then I was like, think about it.
Man, that
This dude came back, but did something that you really felt like, oh, there's some quality shit. Okay.
he makes some soulful rap music, dog.
Yep.
He makes really soulful rap music.
And he blends in a lot of good contemporary
Sounds.
stuff.
Yeah,
Sounds
he does.
and everything.
He really does.
So you gotta appreciate it. But sadly, and I'm being honest, it's the only thing that made me feel anything was the Redman.
Redman.
And the G'd Up was with this new cat on there because I
Right.
liked his verse on there. But everything else was, yep, I'll put that in the
So you
pile
didn't
of
like
your
Method
regular
Man
shit.
verses?
Method Man is meth.
Right.
And I didn't hear anything that made me think, oh, man,
Right.
No, it wasn't.
It was just meth.
It was meth. And I'm not a big fan of meth.
Right.
So if he would have done something that made me go, okay.
Nah,
He's not gonna do that.
That wasn't the album either.
Yeah.
That wasn't even
That's
the
not
album,
who he
so-
is. He's a level-headed. He gonna throw you some clever little here and there. Not real fucking clever. It's not
Nah,
hard to do, but he has a voice that people love to hear too because he got that.
That's
grimy
why him
voice.
and Redman was so good together
Yep.
because Redman was the one doing all the outlandish flows, and then he brought it back.
Yep.
With his sound, with his voice, and then his.
But I
like you
love
said,
Red, even though he didn't go back into his outrageous.
oh,
kinda
not
shit,
at all. He wasn't.
He still had some potent shit that he threw
Yeah.
out there. So, it went back to, and I got to mention it, and I wasn't going to, but I got to mention it when I think Vince
Staples.
said that Eminem is just another Redman.
Yeah.
Redman is different because in his heyday, he created shit.
Yeah.
He created scenarios and stories. Within the stories, he had clever lines.
Yeah.
So
Within
he
the
didn't just
story.
tell a
Yeah.
story. He had clever lines within his stories.
Yeah.
Whereby Eminem is clever how he does it. He has a flow that he put, the way he put words together
Right.
makes it so interesting.
The funny part about that is he pretty much he did it as time went on less.
Yeah.
But he did the stories and creating within the stories, Eminem, he did that all on his first album.
Yeah.
Because he talked about killing this girl. He talked about, Slim Shady LP is my favorite album because he was so creative, because he created stories within stories. Like he had one story where he gave the white girl mushrooms at the party and killed her, almost killed her.
Right.
He had another one where
What was the one that he put the kid in the back of a trunk? Or I don't think that was Slim Shady. I think that was, what was the one after that? that I forget. Because all I can remember
The
is
one where
him.
he killed his baby mama?
No. It was about the way he rapped, and then he
Stan?
yeah, Stan.
The fan jump off?
The fan jump off.
That
was fucking amazing and shit.
Please don't go away, my heart. Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah.
You know, so but all that came from Redman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All that was the essence of Redman. So, you know, there was a Shade 45 interview that M was on there, and he was talking about it, about who his favorite rappers was.
Okay.
And Redman was the first one that he spoke and said that was his favorite rapper.
Okay.
And then he actually put Jadakiss in there. He put Andre in there. You know, and then right after that, Redman called up.
Really?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or I think it was vice versa. I think Redman was at the show, and then Eminem called up and was just, you know,
and they was just
praising
rolling
him.
with him.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Commending Redman on, bruh, you got the, and then Redman is the shit.
He
you know
is.
what I'm saying? Redman is.
And that was the reason why I really felt good about this, because I remember what you said. You said Ludacris was the South Redman.
Redman, yes.
But people don't know who the fuck he is.
Nope.
Because he dropped off when he was playing around with goddamn Method Man.
Yeah.
Except for him being the man.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like,
He was
whatever.
dropping albums consistently too, dog.
And then he
Doc,
just stopped.
What's the name? Malfunction. Like, man, he was dropping so much stuff
And they
in
were
such
good.
a consistent basis.
And they were all good.
Def Jam fucked everybody over.
Okay.
That's what happened. I'm thinking about it now, and I'm just like, yeah, Def Jam fucked everybody over. You know, they fucked DMX over. Like
Oh,
that
yeah.
whole era of
fucking era of
great
people.
rappers. Yeah. They
Rough
fucked them all
Riders and
over.
shit.
Like it was like Jay-Z came and blew up, and then it was like, oh well, we ain't fucking with y'all. If y'all
Yep.
ain't doing what Jay doing,
Fuck y'all.
we're not fucking with y'all.
Yep.
And you know that's literally pretty much where the time that New York kind of dwindled down, because most New York rappers was signed to Def Jam.
Yeah.
You know, Def Jam was the big record label back then.
And you had to get on them.
You had to
because
get on
if you
Def
was on
Jam.
anybody else, it'd be like, ain't nobody playing that shit. Fuck
What?
out of here.
What? Yeah, it was until
Bad Boy. But Bad Boy was moving out of New York because Diddy was doing all types of shit. I think that's when he transitioned to MTV, right?
who
Diddy. And he started having his own other shit on MTV.
he had to, yeah,
and
during
just
that
going from
time,
that.
yeah, during that time, exactly. So, you know, it's funny, man. It's real funny how just the perception of music was put out then. It almost, you know, to Nas's point, hip hop almost really faded out because it was like, again, at that time, it was like, okay, well, ain't nothing but mixtapes coming out right now. It was
Right.
like the mixtape era, you know. And if you make
you
a
want-
good
if you
enough
want the
mixtape,
real, yeah.
you can you make a good enough mixtape, then we'll promote an album, or we'll promote that. It was the independent run. This is how the independent run came. It was like Rockefeller did their thing, and then Dipset did their thing,
Yeah.
and then G Unit did their thing, you know, and then all of them died down.
Yep.
You know, and then after that, it was kind of like,
But the South like fucking said, fuck y'all. We still gonna do our thing and we're not gonna change.
because they were more independent.
Yep.
The South is independent. And that's what happened to New York. New York realized that, you know what? The South rappers, they garbage, but they ain't got no record label. And they making money.
They making the money.
You know what? We don't need a record label. I guess that's kind of when it started going back up. Because
So the underground and the people saying, look, I'm gonna just run my own label and just get played.
Yep.
And get played. And then you got all of these, you know, not record labels, but these shows and everything start coming up, pulling these people and said, this is what you need to hear.
Right.
And then you had these internet shows. And because social media start bringing in the independents as well.
Most definitely.
Because it was easy to say,
Yeah.
check this
out.
niggas out.
Yep.
Check this out. Except for the mainstream media's, you know, or the billboards, the source, and all of them. Fuck y'all. You know, y'all bunch of sellouts. But when you start getting these internet media saying this is what you need to listen to, and then it's legitimate,
Right.
people start getting a little more love. And right now, you don't need these like Drake winning 15 goddamn. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who cares when you know there's some people with some substance shit out there doing the damn thing.
Yeah, and you know what? To your point, that's so funny because that More Life just came out this year, and they praised him on that album.
Yeah.
That Solange came out last year, and she didn't get no love in that award show.
Nope.
You know, and Soul Train nominated her 7 times. So Soul Train award show is probably coming up soon, and they gave her 7 nominations for the album of last year.
Really?
Yeah. So
what about Janae?
I think that's going to be next year.
That's right, because this is kind of this release from. Okay.
But see, and that's where I'm tripping off of, because I'm like, how you get this man 13 awards and not even speak Solange's name?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, at the Billboard Awards.
It's what they want to look at. And see, and a lot of billboards is just sales.
Right.
They base sales, didn't say this is good.
Right.
Except for saying, you know, you may have got the sales, but your shit is kind of weak. Because this is the quality that you should look at. And, you know, again, I don't even follow the billboards like that no more.
Right.
I just don't. If I like the sound, or if the sound is something that I need to listen to, I don't have to say you rated it 5 stars. It's this cat on IG who showed that SZA, she went gold, and went platinum, Uzi Vert.
Right.
And I was like, oh, cool. Then he put some other motherfuckers on. I was like, I don't know them and I don't care.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I don't give a fuck. I'm only going to listen to shit that I believe is worth listening to. But if I do listen to them and it's quality, then I'm going like, yo,
right.
Did you hear this, Sean?
I commend that. Yeah.
Yo, cool. This is why they selling.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it is what it is. But back to the Wu is, this is nostalgia, man. You're going back to the old ways and say, it was good to hear you.
You right.
It was good to hear you, bro.
Right.
Okay, see you later. Go home. You know, because it's not lasting. This is not a lasting album.
It's not lasting because they didn't put nothing current in there.
Right.
You know, if they would have put like something for the youth to listen to and be like,
or the region. Back to your point.
Right.
If you would have said, here's the South Sound, and here's what Wu-Tang sounds like, even if it didn't work, you kind of at least had to say, check it out.
Yeah.
Listen to it. Check it out. Try it out.
Here's something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but
you never know
like,
what they could have built from that.
RZA's like, nah, we're just gonna stick with the blueprint.
Because our fans want to hear that. So when we go on tour, we can do the new album.
Right.
Now. We don't have to do the
old
album.
And it's gonna blend right with the old music, so it's not like we're
recreating some shit.
Right. We can play everything at one time at this concert. So
yeah. So again, no. What do you rate that motherfucker?
So I'm definitely gonna have to give it after we discussed it, because I still like the album.
Yeah, me too.
But again, based on the quality of music that came out this year, and based on the sound that is now, the sound that's going on, you have to go with the sound. You can't, or if you're gonna be unique, that unique sound still has to be ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? Progressive, exactly. So the Wu-Tang have already did progressive things with their sound, and hearing the same sound previously is like, So even though I like the album, considering the now and all the great music that's came out this year, I'm gonna have to give it a 6.5.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to give it a 6.5 because it's like you're not even in the league. You didn't qualify to even, be up here in the next round. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't qualify, bro. Even though I love the music, it
good
was
appearance though. You had a good appearance there. Thank you for showing up. But so I'm saying wow because that's exactly where I was going. I was gonna say 6.25. And the reason why I was gonna drop it a little lower is because I'm not gonna probably hear it again.
Okay.
And if I don't hear it again, and initially, because again, I heard it 3 times, to your point. I heard it by itself and said, oh, the Wu is back. Okay, cool. Second time, I was like, go ahead, Redman. The third time, I was kind of like, okay, let me start critiquing this.
Right.
It slowed my mind down. I wasn't even enjoying the album as something different.
Right. I was enjoying it as Wu-Tang's back.
Wu-Tang's back. Wu-Tang has Redman. I got to do a podcast.
Mm.
I don't like when I listen to a release and say, I got to do a podcast. I listened to this release and said, man, I
let me
love
listen
this
to it
fucking
again.
album.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about how I feel about this album.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Janae. I keep saying Janae because I still put it on because she gives you a feel, dude.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, and same thing like XX Extension. It gives you a feel. So if you don't put it on, but when you do, it gives you a feel. So if that's what music does to you, they're great.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great fucking release. Here, it gave me a feeling of nostalgia of, this
Wu-Tang, is how it used to be.
This is what the Wu is. And then I love my man Redman. That was good to hear Redman again because I just haven't heard him. And it's always good to hear that he still has quality lyrics and he can put it down better than most.
Yeah.
Better than most. But, and the 6'5" still is, dude, production-wise, with the amount of great production that's out right now.
This year, yeah.
You still wanted to hold on to what you had? Come on, man. I'm not saying your production is bad, but come on now. You have the opportunity to have better production, but you chose not to.
Yeah, so
you drop under 7 and you're at a 6'5", borderlining. Because you teeter a little bit, you're going to drop a lot lower.
Yeah.
Sadly. But that's the Wu. I love them. Again, if somebody put it on, I'm like, oh, that's from the new album.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right.
But I don't think
I can't go to the barbershop and listen to it. I can't go to the gym and listen to it. I can't, I can't
even ride with this as much. I can't unless I have to be in the mood to listen to.
Yeah, it's definitely an in the house sit down type of album.
That's a good one.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good one.
Even riding to it is still like,
yeah, exactly. You want something that'll move you.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't move me. That just made me remember.
Right.
It didn't move me though.
Yeah.
So I agree, bro. 6'5".
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's crazy how much good music is out right now.
So it's good that there's good music out. Because if it wasn't, this will be something that
about 7-2.
People they be jumping off. They're like, hey, you gotta hear the new Wu. Mm-hmm. The Wu is back. Because there's nothing. But there's so much out there. And so many people are pushing the sound of hip hop right now.
Yeah.
They're pushing it to say, nope, this is hip hop. Because XXXTentacion is on the R&B charts. I saw that earlier today.
They put it on the R&B charts.
That's what they wanted to put it on. Because remember, he's got some songs kind of inside of it. But because the mainstream don't know how to categorize. Remember, we had this way back on our that they don't know how to categorize hip hop now. I mean, even Animal and them has said, no, that's not rap, it's hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
But except for them saying, here's the new genre that's going, they was like, put it in R&B. We don't give a fuck. It's not rap.
That's whack.
Yeah, that's
whack because it's like you're rating it with Janae. You're rating it with SZA.
Yeah. You rating it with these people who are truly R&B.
R&B, right.
And if you put them lower on that chart, it's not even fucking fair.
And then you're rating it with Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
That's compared to those, that XXXTentacion album is trash. Compared to those, it's like, again, like you said, you can't put that in that category and think that you can judge it like that.
Yeah.
Because
it's not fair to the artist.
It's not fair to
me.
artist.
I always look at the artist who's doing something different.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta say, take them out of there. Take them out of there. Take her out of there. You gotta take them out of there. Because if not, you'll never respect what they're doing.
And see, that goes to Vince Staples. I like Vince Staples, but if you want to compare Vince Staples to Kendrick Lamar in the damn album, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. He's rap.
Vince Staples with fucking 2 Chainz.
You can't do that either.
You can't do that. He's on something else.
Mm-hmm.
He truly is. And I enjoy him. I mean, they used him on the fucking new Black Panther trailer.
They sure did.
I was like,
they sure
oh
did.
shit, that's Vince Staples.
Yeah. I know you was like, oh, that's Vince.
That's my fucking boy.
I know you would have been like, that's a nice beat. If you would have known who it was, you'd be like, oh, that's a nice beat. I like that trailer.
Yep.
But then now that you know the song, it's like, oh, this trailer's awesome. And they put Vince Staples on
that bitch.
Yeah. So
back, motherfucker.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So that was the thing that when I realized that people understand what good music sound like. Mm-hmm. So even when I pick it, because I'm that guy that produces shit. I love to create music. So when I know something sounds good and then they use it, I was like, they got it.
Yep.
They heard what I heard and they fucking used it because that's a good track. I mean, even when we talked about it, I was like, I like Back. He was like, yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, that motherfucker's, that's fucking riding right there. They knew it blended well with
that trailer.
Mm-hmm. And it went well. If you didn't know who he was, you kind of looking at it like, damn, that's they made that beat up. No, they didn't, motherfucker.
Right,
that's Vince Staples, you know?
Right.
So, but yeah, man, I just, Wu-Tang. That's all I can say.
So I guess my last little point, my last thought is, and I'm probably gonna continue to say this. This was probably Zoe Williams was probably the first one that I heard say this. We have to continue to create our own narrative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, two things. So I look at reviews now, right? Just to see if my review is similar to anybody else's.
Really?
So I went to, I'm not even going to say no names of websites or whatever. So I checked out the Janae Oku's, you know. So what I do now is I read articles and I figure out who wrote the article.
Okay.
So now I could criticize you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, who the fuck is this clown? Because what's been happening lately is
right.
These so-called black websites is using black faces to talk about black people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll give you one puss-ass article. Black men are the white men of black communities.
What?
That's kind of how the article was worded.
Right.
And it was a brother saying this shit. You know what I'm saying? So what I do is I like to go and see if these people that are actually critiquing music actually listen to music.
Right. Or what music do they listen to?
Right. So
and then jump in on something new.
Exactly. So this is what I do. So I look at the name and I look at all the articles they did.
There you go.
You know, and then with those articles, so for example, I look at one dude and he rates the 2 Chainz. Okay, so before I look at that, let me see what else he reviewed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He did the Young Thug, and he rated that 4 out of a 5. Niggas, you stupid! Oh, you know what? I'm never coming to this page again.
Right.
I'm never coming to this page again because if you call that quality, you know, and you give Janae a 3.7 on this album.
And give Young Thug a
4.4. What the fuck is you talking about? That's not quality, my nigga. Yep. That's not even quality rap music.
Yep.
But you want to rate this better than the Vince? Or you want to rate this in the same realm as Vince Staples?
Yep.
You stupid.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
who the fuck are you? And what the hell? What do you... I always look at, what do you drink? What do you drink? What do you drink, nigga? Oh man, I drink water. Okay, water. So that means you have no fucking flavor whatsoever. Because the first thing that came out of your motherfucking mouth was water. So you a bland ass nigga. And I don't want to hear shit from you. Well, I mean, no. That's what you came out with. And that's how you rating shit.
Right.
You ain't shit.
Right.
Now, if you say, bro, I drink craft beer from blah, blah, blah. Okay. You got a little flavor about you.
Right.
Okay. So let me
tell
see.
Me about this flavor.
Then. Yeah. And then you can say, I see where your path is.
Right.
But niggas like that, man, I can't stand it. So when I look at that, because I do the same thing, because I look at a couple of ratings and when something stands out that doesn't look like anyone else, I say, let me see why this one is higher or this one is lower. And then I look back and say, oh, okay. Cool. You may not just like it because of, okay, I respect that. I respect it.
Right.
I still like it better than you, but I can respect your critique because your previous ones I'm kind of in line with.
Right.
But if your previous one's a Young Thug and be like, oh, he's fire, he's gonna blow up, and he's the next best. Who the fuck are you? You know? But I got you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
So again, just creating our own narrative. Allowing us to tell our people what good music is instead of the black person that works under a black website that's being funded by white people.
Yep.
Or a black person, a black face
in a white organization.
Yeah, and an organization that's like, oh, hey, this is great music. It's not great music.
It's popular music.
It's people like us that have to be like, look, this is why this is great music. And again, you being a producer and me being a rapper, I know the lyrics, so I'm hearing for the lyrics. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, you're hearing for the beats.
Yep.
So we could contrast with each other with that. And when you're just like, oh, well, she was just really emotional on this time, and this wasn't her best album, and but you're not really giving me the substance of it.
Yep.
That lets me know that you either skipped through the album, you didn't listen to the album all the way through. Remember, I told you that.
Yep.
Listen to the whole album.
Because it was long.
Listen to the whole album.
But I listened to the whole thing.
Well, in general.
Yeah.
I think people who are critiquing it are just skimming through the album.
Mm-hmm. And picking up things that are disconnecting.
Right.
Because, let's go back to the album. If you don't follow it chronologically, it throws you off. And you be like, what the fuck is she singing about now?
Right.
You get that in your mind. But when you listen to it chronologically, you change and say, oh, wow, this was fucking great. It really is good.
But to that, too, if you don't listen to the whole album and you don't actually... If you're just listening to the sound and you're not listening to the album, you're not going to like the album either.
Yeah.
Because you're just like... Oh, another love song. Oh, another love song. Oh, okay, that's cool with Corrupt. Oh, okay, that's nice.
She got Big Sean on there.
Right. Oh, I liked it, but it was just a lot of love songs at the end, and then she was just kind of talking about her brother, and I just really wasn't feeling it. You wasn't even catching the movie. You clearly wasn't.
Yep.
Wasn't even.
You didn't pay attention.
You didn't pay attention.
Yep.
You was just listening to the sound
Thank you.
not listening to the album.
Thank you.
So again, creating our own narrative, man. We have to understand why music is great. Why certain people are doing certain things with their music, with their tones, with their producers. Mm-hmm. You can't just be like, oh, the Young Thug is whack because he Young Thug. I listened to it. And I listened to it a second time. I didn't listen to it a third time.
Right.
But I'm giving you the reason why I don't like this motherfucker.
Yep.
And I'm giving you the bigger reason why I don't like the album.
Yep.
This is why I didn't like the album.
Yep.
These are the tracks that confused me, or this is his lingo, or his delivery, or his words. Don't just tell me that
I don't like it.
Oh, the vibe could have been this, and these tracks, it was representing this, and nah, motherfucker. I need you to tell me, and then again, the background of an artist.
Yep.
So.
But you put me into that too. You put me into saying, okay, you didn't like it, but do you know where they fucking came from?
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah, they was fucking terrible. They evolved. So you gotta appreciate where they evolved from.
Right.
So when you don't do that, you're doing shit just like face value.
Face value, yep.
And you kind of like, nah, I don't like this shit. You know what? He came across like he was really arrogant. Dude, he's arrogant because
rapper.
he got like 10 goddamn fucking albums before this, and he got to the point that, yo, I'm successful, so this is where I'm at in my career. Then you can understand that. But if you don't understand that, it looks exactly the way he presents.
Yep.
That's just what it is.
Judge a book by its cover.
Yep. And you know what? Bad cover. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Go to hell, dude. Go fucking straight to hell.
And I think that's why we got to talk about the Damian Lillard, because face value and judging a book by its cover, it's a basketball player rapping.
But I took that away because I want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I hear it, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, what you said was, listen. You know what? Break it down. Listen to it. Go from that.
Right.
I can easily listen to it because, a lot of these people, they have features on there too.
Right.
And sometimes they kind of put a filler in the features. If you like, he's a basketball. Oh, goddamn, Raphael Sadiq on there. And he's
Right.
you got such and such on here.
Right.
So it kind of softens the blow up that he's a basketball player. Because I started reading about it. I just chose the wrong fucking album to listen to.
I got you.
But I was reading because I wanted to prepare. I just chose the wrong one. So when we do it, I'll be prepared because I've been reading on what he led up to this album and everything. So yeah. So I like that. I do. And I want to, when we do it, because I really appreciate you saying that, because if you don't create your own narrative with experience, it doesn't mean shit. Because there's some motherfuckers who just listen to music and show up and have a critique. Dude, you've been rapping. You know the tempo. You know what it takes. You know what's, look, I wish I can be like this, but I'm at this level. No, you know what? I can murder motherfuckers who's getting paid, but I wasn't there. You can see that. Production, I see what you're doing, but that's just bullshit. Like
no ID.
Yep, I'm sorry. I was going to put them out there.
44.
Repetitive samples and shit. Fuck out of here, man. That is lazy fucking producing. That bothers me, man. I can't stand that.
I have no rebuttal on that, man.
I was like, oh my God, dude.
My only rebuttal is, hey, maybe that's what Jay-Z
That's
wanted.
what Jay wanted. But hey, it is what it is. I got a background, so I can kind of go, that's bullshit, kid. Right. I think anybody can do that.
Right.
But anyway. But yeah, so I do appreciate that because people, I think people hear that. People hear that our perspective is two different ways, but we respect each other's perspective because you still got background with production. I still got background with rap, but not as clear as each of us have.
Right.
So it's easy for us to go, you know what? I love the lyrics on this. You see how he rolled on that. You're like, yeah. But what you need to listen to is he's a freestyler as opposed to a writer.
Right.
And I don't pick that up easily. And I was like, look, with the production, you see how he layered this? The layering of production makes it different.
And I don't pick that up. I don't pick that up at least until my 4th, 5th time hearing the album or until you address it.
Because you open your mind up to say, let me listen to the whole thing.
Right.
Because you center on, what are they singing about? What they rapping about? Okay. Oh, music sound really good laying on that. Okay. And then the third one is like, critique the whole thing.
Yeah. And see, I think that's a good point too. I think people are rushing to put out in a review and don't be able to give you a full critique of the album. They in such a hurry to drop the review out. It's like if you would have listened to it one more time, you would have caught that this was a story.
Yep.
Or if you would have listened to this one more time, you would have caught that the last track and the first track is the same. But you're like, oh well. All right, I listened to it one time. Yeah, it sounded like his other one. And nah, dog, for an artist, you can't do that. For me being an artist and knowing how much work people put into their music, you can't just listen to it one time and be like, that shit is whack.
It's not respectful.
Yeah.
It's just not. Let me give you another example. Dave East. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
This new rapper that's out.
Yeah.
He's not fucking new. If you heard what he used to do, then you can understand this new one isn't that good. But because it's new to them, they're listening to the new one and it's similar to what they heard. And then he's a New York rapper.
Right.
Wow, this guy's amazing.
Right. He's
no,
a New
he's
York
not.
rapper.
He's truly amazing for what he used to do. But look what the fucking record label made him do. But again, it's because they don't respect the artist. You got to respect where they came from.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And if you don't do that, and I'll give you the credit for that, because especially with a lot of new artists who's been out or a lot of artists that been out with a new release, you kind of like, you haven't been listening to rap like I have.
Right, yeah.
You kind of fucking need to listen to a couple of backwards. Go back, and then you can see where they're at. So, like even with Lil Wayne, he's entertaining to me now.
Right.
He's not... Because I used to
you
hate
missed
that
his whole
motherfucker.
era, but you missed his whole wave.
Yep.
Like him calling himself the best rapper and everything. He was probably on like a shit. He probably had like a 10-year window
He was in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And I was
you
like,
missed the whole thing.
what the fuck is this dude? Who?
Right, because you was hearing it little pieces here, little pieces there.
I didn't take
You
the
didn't
whole
know who
thing.
Lil Wayne was.
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't give him the opportunity. Now let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't give him the opportunity to find out who Lil Wayne was.
Okay.
So I couldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But that was because I didn't have to.
Right, exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now that I have to, I kind of like, you gotta
He was
listen
in
to
the
this
group.
motherfucker.
His group they kicked the group off.
Mm-hmm.
He was gonna leave. He made the choice to stay with Birdman, drop 4 Carters, and blew the fuck up.
Yep.
You know, to the point where now this nigga Birdman owes Wayne money. And he won't give it to him.
He won't give it to him.
Won't even get his man his money. To the point, won't give him his money and won't drop Carter 5. Won't drop him. Now, that's where Young Thug came in. So all that bullshit that was happening,
he slid in on his ass.
Birdman picked up Young Thug and not Carter 5, Carter 6. I'm sorry. Oh, maybe it is Carter 5. I'm tripping. Birdman picked up Young Thug, tried to replicate Wayne with Young Thug, with the sound and everything. And Wayne was so mad at that shit that because this what happened was, Young Thug was going to name his album Carter 5.
What?
Yes.
Why the fuck would he do that?
Because Birdman wanted him to.
Oh, hating ass bitch.
So Wayne was like, man, fuck that. I'm finna sue this fool. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
You playing with my money, you playing with my name, you're
Yep.
trying to
Yep.
take away my brand and give it to somebody else.
Can't fuck with the brand, man.
Man, so his name hasn't been ringing as much after that whole incident.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like, he hasn't dropped the album. He dropped 1 mixtape since then. You know, and that's for Wayne, that's terrible.
But he's showing up on appearances.
Oh yeah, he has to.
Because he got to be relevant.
Yep.
So when he makes the decision to come out, you'll be ready.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So anyway, we really got all fucking stuff. But anywho, but yeah, Wu-Tang 6'5" across the board.
Yeah.
I love him. I still love him. That's my team. So I'm gonna always give him
sound. Good to hear him.
Good to hear him
just
again.
Good to hear him.
Thanks for showing up.
Right.
But and thanks for giving me a taste of Redman because I miss him. So that's all good. So what you got, Sean?
Everybody gets goodbye gifts for Wu-Tang, and they're the first ones out the door. So, I would have to give Joey Badass some credit on his last album. That was actually pretty decent compared to the Wu-Tang.
Yep. Even though you was like, oh, the fucking Joey Badass. I was like, it was okay, man.
okay.
It wasn't that bad. But
Yeah, most definitely, man. Y'all can catch me on Instagram. Stop calling me without the G. You can also catch me on Twitter at DJ Activist. So yeah, I'm getting a little more active in the Twitter game. I'm gift happy. So anytime y'all look at my page, I got a gift for your ass. And basketball season just started. So
Yep.
make sure y'all go check out my YouTube page, Courtside Seat Show. Just got my logo done. Make sure y'all check out my Instagram page, Courtside Seat Show, and the Slim God on Twitter. So basketball, you looking for some basketball news and stuff, I got you.
It's out there.
Yes, sir.
So be ready. Bougie Black Brother, Instagram. No, Bougie Black Bro, Instagram and IG. BougieBlackBrother.com is the website, and the Bougie Black Network on Facebook. So if you picking up all of those, you'll see us all around. It's on iTunes. Get the podcast. It's on most and almost every single downloaded podcast app. So you should be able to pick up Bougie Black Brother or Car Wax. And we kind of separated it out. So if you pick up Car Wax, search CARRWAXX, Car Wax. So thank you very much, Damian Leonard. We got a couple of other things coming up that we will review.
Hey, you got some bomb-ass music coming out next week.
Throw it out there.
Bomb-ass music. All right, so new music that's supposed to be coming out. What's today, the 19th? So tomorrow, Young Dolph, Think Out Loud. You know, he just got sprayed up. He got shot in his ass.
Running away.
Yeah, running away. Staley, that's actually one of MMG's artists. So that's supposed to be coming out on the 20th. But the 27th, Snoop dropping another album, second album of the
you
year.
fucking kidding me?
Make America Crip Again. Yes. I'm going to listen to that.
I'm going to listen to it too. We got to get another fucked up albums of the year. Maybe let's see what we can do and shit.
Yo Gotti, Still I Am.
Yo
That's
Gotti?
basically, I Am Part 2. Ty Dolla $ign. I think that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Beach House 3. That's going to be pretty
I've been hearing
decent.
some shit about them. They was getting a buzz about Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah, he's the man. He's like our generation's Nate Dogg so far. So hopefully he'll keep that wave
Keep that
going.
roll going. Yeah.
Yeah. Big Crit's dropping a double CD.
KRIT.
Yeah, KRIT. Produce his own music, rap his own music.
Whoa.
So he's gonna be dropping something. All of these are on the 27th, actually. So not this Friday, not tomorrow.
But the next one.
Next Friday.
Okay. So we'll
And
be
then-
prepared for that.
And then Young Dro, the real Atlanta. Young Dro's popping. Now, that's T.I.'s homie.
Okay.
Now they just dropped T.I. just dropped a group collaboration. It was pretty decent. It's called We Want Smoke. I'm gonna send that to you.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think we need to review it,
But just
but
check
it's
it out.
definitely worth listening to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We can do that.
You'll be entertained by that. But Dro's on there ripping it, going
Really?
hard. Yeah. So based off of that, I think that's why he wants to drop his album before the end of the month. So I'm definitely gonna check out the Dro. Got the Big Crit coming, Ty Dolla $ign, the Snoop Dogg, the Yo Gotti, the Young Dolph. I know you're not gonna like the Young Dolph, but
Put him on the list.
yeah, I'm putting him on the list, and we'll have a side note on that one. We'll definitely put a side note out
Give
for
him a
that
2-3 minute.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all that's coming out for the rest of the month. Chris Brown got a 44-track album coming out.
44.
Heartbeats on a full moon. I think it's 42, 44, or 48, but it's definitely in the 40s.
So he probably gonna have a shitload of special guests and shit up on there.
I don't know, but I can't. 22 was enough for me.
I know, right?
Man. And I enjoyed those 22s. So
But 44.
I don't know. That's a trip
44
to
is something else.
that's a trip to Tennessee and back. So and then
And some
supposedly
sleepy shit too.
Fabulous is supposed to be coming out with Freddie and Jason. Fab and Jadakiss is supposed to
Really?
be that's supposed to be a collabo, but they've been talking about pushing that out.
So, but
since
they've
last
been
year.
talking, but then they were talking about Eminem coming too.
Oh, Eminem's dropping.
Yeah, but he's dropping. But
He's
before
dropping
it
in
was just
November.
talking. So yeah, I look forward to that shit.
Oh yeah, Eminem's definitely dropping.
Yeah.
He ain't no way around it. The reason why I know he's dropping is because 2 Chainz was like, I was on the album, nigga.
Ah!
You know, but they officially set a
Okay,
date
a
for
release
it now.
date and all?
Yeah,
Okay.
they it's like November,
So you know
second week of November.
that's
So.
already, you know.
That right now that gets a 7.2. I'm just gonna tell you like it is.
Because-
It's not getting nothing less than a 7.2.
Because
Because-
and I'm not even gonna put shit behind that. Because
Nothing. Eminem is the shit.
regardless, he can
Period.
sing over a banjo. You know,
Period.
he'll rap over a banjo, and I'm already in because I know what he's gonna bring.
But if he was black,
Yeah,
it'd be a whole different story.
It'd be a different story. So we already know.
We'll get into that when
Boyce
we talk about
Watkins.
it. And on that note,
And on that note, we'll see you soon. Thanks for stopping by. Car Wax, and we're out.
peace.